Live, alive.
Um, Test. There we go. Right, we are live. I was literally about to say with no technical hiccups, and then my mic didn't work on OBS. Right. Well, I mean,
apart
there
from
was
that,
some track lights hiccups.
yes, live and alive on time at
On
the
time.
start of qualifying.
30 minutes of qualifying that you can actually watch.
Yeah. And immediately, Adam is disconnected from the server. A good start for him.
And you know how it's a bad turnout when you can see us in the list of the AC tower.
We currently have 16 drivers on the server. It's filling out now a bit as people drive out onto the track. And I think we should be I think at least Chris, who is currently missing, will arrive. He did 85 laps of practice.
Maybe he just did it for the practice. Maybe he didn't do it for the racing.
Well, we'll find out.
Maybe he's given up. Alex had a really bad practice. Well, no, I don't know about this practice, but the practice I saw on the live timings.
Yeah, Alex was saying that I think he's midway through moving house.
Oh, so right, yeah, excuses, yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't had any time to practice, so he's going to be on the back foot here today.
Yeah, he only had 30 laps of practice, yeah.
Yeah, so, but I reckon he'll get up towards the front half of the grid with his half hour that he's got now to get more used to the track. I think Chang, at least in my opinion, pretty easy track to learn.
That's coming from
you. It just flows quite nicely. Yeah, it flows quite nicely. It's all yeah. Nice track to get into.
I'll stand by that.
I'll stand by my comment. It's all right. Chang's all right. Actually sponsored by a beer company in Thailand. Chang is a beer company or a brand of beer. There you go.
Yeah, we got
a little tidbit about Chang for the day.
One of Henry's many facts of the day, as I sure will probably get more. Looking at the track maps.
Beer, I love beer. Me too, Graham. I'm drinking a beer right now. They sometimes have to refer to it as the Buriram United International Circuit, because a lot of racing leagues don't allow for beer sponsorship, so they use the other name for the track.
More facts. Love it.
More facts. Facts in a row. I'm all out now though, that's it. That's all I got.
I don't know, I mean, you got some good old facts about this third corner.
Good old facts about the third corner specifically.
Yeah.
I do. Superbike rider Jonathan Rea called that the big balls corner.
That's a fact.
It's a big balls corner, it's turn 3. He said that in a superbike you come into it in 6th gear and then down a couple of gears mid-corner, and then you have to be brave on the exit. I think that's mostly, he's talking about the entry and the exit. You both have to be very brave when you're driving a superbike. I don't know if that's quite going to be the same for the GT3 cars, though. I think turn 3's, you need to trail brake quite a lot on turn 3, and then you need to be a bit patient on the throttle. It's not quite the experience it is in a superbike where you have to lean to like fucking 84 degrees to make it round, or whatever it is. So, yeah. But nice little circuit. I do have some more facts. I was lying, but I'll space the facts out a bit. We don't want them all in one go.
Yeah, no, you can't just spew all your facts all at once. That'll ruin the evening. As we've got sometimes coming in. Martin already at the 136.1. We've got Graham playing Dead by Daylight. Hope he enjoys that. I'm going into the pit. Steve P2, like I said, 1/10 behind him. I think Martin will be the faster one. Maybe, Steve's quite a fast boy, actually, isn't he? Paul?
Yeah. Steve's been doing really well this week. I think he was second on the practice timetable to Martin in first. So yeah, it's going to be close. I mean, Martin's done a 136.2 right now. I think the pole time is going to be in the 135s. But we will have to wait and see.
Yeah, I was very sad. Graham, I thought you were gonna leave us already. Thank you for staying.
I love games with daily login bonuses. It gets to the point where you literally just log in get the thing, and then think, I don't really want to play right now. Log back out again. Good old 5 minutes of nothing.
There we go. Alex P1 in the 135s, as you were saying. Oh, no, it's a high 135.
High 35s, but Alex immediately picking up the ball there and setting a good time. So, pretty impressive. And drivers get times on the board. Looks like. Go on.
I don't know what I was thinking. Do you think? I seem to remember from it's quite a good racing track. This, even though it's flat.
Yeah.
It's like a Tilka track, but it looks like a really fun track, and it is a fun track because I've raced on it. So I don't know what I'm saying. I think.
Yeah, I haven't actually raced on it, but it's definitely enjoyable to hot lap. I can see how it'd be good to race because it's nice and wide. You've got lots of corners where you could run too wide with somebody and switch back through the corners. And also lots of runoff as well. So if you're racing somebody hard, if they push you a bit wide, it doesn't completely ruin your day. You know, you can get yourself back on the track and keep fighting. So yeah, I think we'll get some good racing today, so long as people are on similar pace to each other.
Yeah.
Which they usually are. So fingers crossed we get some good side-by-side action today.
Fingers crossed. But
indeed,
with Andy's races, you never know.
Yeah, it could just be a crash fest.
Who's gonna turn up, and what type of person's gonna turn up? Like what type of mind frame people are gonna turn up in? I mean, somebody might turn up, like Andy might turn up, like I hate that Callum. I'm gonna crash into him.
Gonna get him off the track. Yeah. And Chris is connecting to the server.
Good. As I was.
Excellent.
Yep. As Chris joins, Steve goes into P1 with a 135.8. Not too far behind him is Alex though. It's only 5,000th. Nope, 100th.
500ths, yeah.
1,000th would have been amazing.
It would.
That would be
Maybe
pogging,
we'll get that.
Pogging all of the floor. But
that's one of the stories I want to follow this week.
Oh,
the battle.
I like it.
There is the battle between Chris and Alex. It's been, they've had lots of cases in qualifying where they've been P1 and 2 respectively, swapped over different weeks, but then every single week so far, one of them has been caught up in an incident on lap 1, so we haven't seen them actually race each other yet. So, fingers crossed today, we get that race between Alex and Chris.
And definitely a talking point, just by Callum, has been the pit entry. We're not in the TeamSpeak right now, so we can't hear what the gentleman's agreement that might be. But we'll definitely need to watch out.
Yeah, we will. I think it's going to be the pit entry. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually, I just saw some people using it. Yeah, so they're using the pit entry before turn 12, so before the final corner of the track. So you just kind of peel off to the left on the straight, and then you go around the last corner on the pit line. You just saw Ian drive right past it there.
Oh, yeah.
So that second one there, that's the one they're not using. And I think, my understanding is that second pit entry is used for the bike races at the circuit, because it's a bit easier for them. Like the one that comes off to the left is quite tight on the way in, and I think it's difficult to bike. Could be wrong, but
something completely unrelated. I just realised there's Dan disconnected, and his name is Dan Jude. As a Dan myself, I always get sick of the fucking song, Danny Boy. I wonder if Dan has a problem with that song and Hey Jude. I bet he gets so pissed off at that.
Yeah, people meet him and kind of try and combine
What's
the songs
your
together.
name? What's your name? Oh, it's Dan. Oh, Danny Boy.
But they go, oh, Danny Jude.
So, well, what's your full name? Oh, it's Dan Jude. Jude. Yeah, that. I bet I've just triggered something in his head.
I wouldn't get tired of Hey Jude. I think I enjoy that song enough.
As an Arsenal fan, you probably might do. We used to sing that a lot.
Yeah, but I'm not an Arsenal fan, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, my name is Wani, so I don't know why people keep singing Wani Boy.
Well, you need to introduce yourself as Wani to people. That's what you should do. That would fix the problem.
Yeah. Oh, damn names.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll get the chance to ask Dan Jude about that sometime, and we can learn.
I do wanna, but I don't wanna trigger some PTSD.
Do you think he's gonna be that upset by the ordeal?
Yeah.
Just screams and disconnects from the TeamSpeak. We never hear from him again.
So Steve is still in P1. Still the same gap between him and Alex. Martin in P3. Paul in P4. The bigger gap in 5 temps between Martin and Paul. And then Callum just coming up behind him. Quite a close gap there. Another nice little gap. Tiny little gap between them. Nice. Keep getting fucking notifications. Are there any songs about Henry? Gotta be some songs about Henry.
About me specifically, yes.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I have no idea. I've never heard one. So probably not. But I'm not sure. I think in my entire life I've only met like 3 other Henrys.
Fuck off.
Yeah, no. I haven't met many. Maybe more than 3. I've never known one well though. Like, there's not a lot of us around. We're a rare breed.
There's a fucking loads of Henrys.
Nah. In our age group? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know any.
I'm playing a song right now. I'm gonna get deep head, but fuck it.
What are you playing? What?
It's Herman's Hermits singing I Am Henry VIII if I am.
What?
Yeah, I couldn't understand Graham.
Graham's the only Graham that I know as well.
Yeah, Graham's a bit of an older name, so I can understand that.
Mm.
I mean, I've met there's a Graham that lives next door but one to me, but he's quite old, so...
Old Graham. Old Greg. Oh, Alex Ball has taken P1.
Oh my god.
I was not paying any attention.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we were paying lots of attention to the...
maximum focus.
Yep.
And Peter's just taken P4 away from Paul as well.
Alex.
How exciting.
In the 135.7, Steve just 1/10 behind him, I think. Probably with the same time. I don't think he's improved on that. I think Martin may have improved on what he did before. Pete definitely improved. Got himself into P4. I mean, there might be... Are you sure there's no songs about Graham? Because it's an old name. I mean, older songs usually mention like names like that. You don't see any songs nowadays like singing names or have the names. As I just proved when I just played I Am Henry VIII, I Am. In a black and white video.
Shout out to Soccer Mummy, by the way. Graham calling out. Great band. Real good band.
And do you know them?
Yeah.
Oh.
I do.
I thought... Okay.
Yeah. They released an album this year called Colour Theory. And it's in my favourites. My list of albums. It's good.
Oh.
I did have to look that up. Because I couldn't remember its name. But I do listen to them. Oh, are we ready for some more Chang facts? I have some fun ones. No. Oh, I was getting ready. I was excited.
As I just alt-tabbed and I looked at a song. They had a second song on the best songs about Henry. And it's called...
Is this a thing that you found?
Why Henry Drinks by Drive-By Truckers.
Oh, God.
And they're live right now.
I feel very seen.
Forward of it. This is a few notes, but it's fine. I mean, I don't know the notes, but it didn't sound great. Oh yeah, there's some racing going on, isn't there? I forgot about that.
There is.
Yeah, Lee, that's why I'm going to do in 30 second bits. So I avoid the copyright.
Copyright law.
That's how it works. Definitely. 13.5 minutes remaining. Steve is in the pits. Doesn't look like he's going to try anytime soon to get past Alex. Chris, where's Chris? Chris P10. 1.6 seconds behind Alex. Chris, yes. What are you doing, lad?
He's only done 4 laps, so he might still just be warming up.
Graham used his imaginary channel points to ask a fact from Henry.
Ask for a fact. Okay. Chang is a very flat track. I think one of the flattest tracks that we're going to go to. And as we just see there, the stands are actually on top of the pit garages on the track. And if you're sat in those stands that Briss just drove past on our screen, you can see the entire track from that stand.
There you go.
And it's one of the nice features of the track as a spectator. If you actually go there, you can see the whole thing. There you go.
A wanny fact.
A wanny fact. Let's do it.
Henry, just fill some space while I go to Reddit.
Okay. I'll give us another fact. So you see the track has very good flood lighting for our. This is a 24-hour race today that we're having, squished into an hour, and so the track was actually designed with night racing in mind. They want it to be used for endurance racing in the future. So the floodlights, as are very well shown here from this shot from James's dashboard, floodlights all around the circuit. Danny does have a turtle. It's a lovely, lovely turtle. It always tries to snap your fingers.
Yeah.
I guess it's just what turtles do.
And did you know?
Well, here we go.
Right. That ex-presidents are not allowed to drive. Ex-presidents of the United States are not allowed to drive.
Why?
Why did I say why?
Is it for like? Is it a safety thing?
Probably a safety thing.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That was a good fact. Chang is also the first FIA Grade A circuit in Thailand, which means that Formula 1 could race here. They never have, but in theory they could.
Right.
There you go. Oh,
so,
we're going to learn.
The reason is because of the lifetime Secret Service detail that all ex-presidents get. After all, one of at least safe places. This is worded so badly. One of your least safe places you can be is on the road.
Right.
Under
so it is a safe.
It's just a safety thing because that's the way you can most likely to die, probably.
Right.
Right. That's my fact of the fact of the night.
Week.
Right. So I'm
Danny's fact of the week. All right. See ya. Oh God, the dogs are coming. There they are. So, Alex is still in the lead, followed by Martin, then Pete, then Andy in P4, Paul in P5. As I say that, the orders have just changed massively. A bunch of people just finished laps. Daddy! Daddy! I wish I could mute him, but unfortunately I can't. There we go. There we go. So yeah, the order's swapping around a lot right now. I chose a really bad time to try and call out positions, because everybody just changed positions. Very exciting. We've got 9 minutes left, and Alex at a 1:35.743 seconds. As we're seeing James Gray making sure the grass is nice and regulation. Seems like it is. And back onto the circuit. I assume that Danny's gone for a beer. Ah, okay. Are you back? Do you want to put me on board with Alex for a lap? Alright, we're on board with Alex now. I say it as I completely break my camera. Okay, coming out of turn 1. Down the second straight, going around technically T2. Not really a corner here at all. Braking hard into T3. And here you've got to really be careful on the throttle. Patient, and then getting on the power. Using all of that curb on the exit. Coming up now along another quite a long straight really towards T4. And in the McLaren this is just a lift. Let's see if it is in this car as well. Ooh, he's actually dabbing the brakes there to get the front in. Using the exit quite well up into T5. Deceptively tight this corner. And you need to keep turning left on the exit. And now a bit of a lift here and then back flat onto the exit again. Alex making good use of these curbs here. You can see where he's getting his time from, attacking the curb into turn 8, going maybe a little bit wide on the exit of turn 8 there, but I'm sure that's okay. Compromises his line through turn 9 so that he can get on the power and stay flat all the way through turn 10 here, through 11, still flat, all the way to the last corner of the circuit, which is the slowest on the track, braking hard into turn 12. Down the gears, using all of that curb again, nice and wide on the exit to finish his lap, and it's going to be not an improvement there for Alex, but still holding first place.
Are
you back with us?
Yeah, I think my timing's a bit wrong because it's carrying on for his time. Doing a 2-minute lap apparently right now.
Oh.
But it didn't count. So I don't know.
Unless that was an outlap.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, it would have reset his time. But anyway,
we got the lap. People know where the track goes now.
There you go.
Vaguely.
There you go.
That's the important thing.
I'm running out of good celebrations.
Oh no! Ooh.
Got some celebrations.
Treating yourself.
No, I got them from the dog's owner that broke my finger.
Well, okay, fair enough. That's nice of them. How is your finger?
Hurting.
Is it still painful to do things?
Yeah.
That is a shame.
Alex is under pressure a bit with Martin just 900ths behind him, and then Steve just behind him as well, about 300ths. And then Pete, and then Andy, I think, is improved. I think he was he in P5?
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. There was a bit of a shuffle around there.
Okay.
As we're seeing Martin giving somebody a bit of a love tap. That was James Gray. Bit of a boop.
Keep forgetting I wasn't on auto cam as Alex stops just after them. Now we're on board with Chris, who's improved apparently on his sector 1. Are you on board with Chris, Henry?
I am, yeah. Still down in P10 though. Hopefully going to be putting together a more representative lap soon.
Yeah, we do have 5 minutes remaining in there's a purple sector and a disclaimer, according to my shit. And actually, I think it was like, yeah, it was 5 tenths up on Alex on the first sector, but he did improve it in his own sector, if I do decipher that correctly. But he went 1.5 tenths faster than Alex in the second sector. How can he do on the third sector as he comes around the last corner right now? It's not as fast as Alex, but it just puts him into P4, pushes everyone else down. Pete into P5, Andy into P6, Paul P7, Carl P8, Dave and P10, and James in Dave in P9, James P10.
Yeah, and that's more like what we're hoping for from Chris now. Maybe he can just squeeze out those extra couple of tenths,
found a Mars,
bring himself into the running. And if he does, then I mean, we could have a 4-way fight for the lead in this race with 4 drivers very much capable of taking the win.
No, I didn't increase my shit, Joe. I don't know why it looks like shit. I'm on I've changed it from display capture to a game capture on my OBS. Maybe that's something to do with it.
Does that make a difference? Interesting.
Apparently it increases right.
Did you change your bit rate as well, though?
I
or is it back to... Oh, well, yeah, but the week before it must have been lower, right?
No, it was higher.
But what? How did you manage to stream then? I thought you said it was too high.
I didn't stream on Twitch last week.
Yeah, but the week before, what was your bit rate?
I know. Right, yeah, it was 10,000.
Oh, right,
but
so you
still
didn't
let me
change
stream.
Oh,
yeah.
Weird.
That's why I was confused.
Okay. Yeah, that is odd. Fair enough.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, no!
Oh!
Dan, Dan and Adam there having
just
a crash.
Witnessed a murder.
And somehow, it seems that Adam wasn't... Oh, no, he was very much affected by that. Okay.
If Adam was not affected by that, I'm stopping watching the Settle Gaza.
That was a good hit.
Still got Galaxy Caramel, Snickers and Bounties
you're
left.
Making me hungry. I said that I wouldn't eat on this stream again because apparently I was loud and annoying last time.
Who said that?
Lee did. Well, he didn't say I was annoying. Just said that he could hear me chewing, and I was like, oh, that's not very good. I might have a quick snack between qualifying and the race. A rejuvenating snack. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 minute and 50 second. Yeah, get some pizza love, Henry.
Pizza love? How do I get that?
Just eat. Right. It's just opening shelf. And because shelf needed another takeaway.
So, isn't that really expensive though? I heard it was really expensive from Lee. Yeah, I think it was Lee that said.
I want to try it though because it's like new. It might be really nice.
Yeah, it might be.
Anyway.
Okay, let's focus for the last minute and a half.
We're on board with Steve, who's improved on his own time in Sector 1. I don't know what that was. In Sector 1. How can he do in Sector 2? The brakes on the front of his car are definitely heating up. Oh, he gets a purple sector in Sector 2, according to my time, so 2 tenths down on Alex's best. As I keep saying. According to my times. But okay, we're going to James Gray. We're Steve. Yep, Steve.
I'm going to keep an eye on Steve as he goes across the line.
I think it's going to be a bit slower.
Yeah, it looks like he's stayed in P3 there.
It's Steve.
Steve.
Has he crossed the line? Yeah, he crossed the line. Oh, he's going
into the pits. Yeah, he's aborted his lap.
And abort.
And I guess that means he's done. I mean, he could have started another lap there. He had enough time, but going into the pits is not going to have enough time to go out again. So that's it for Steve. Currently on a lap, we have James Thorburn about to cross the line and stays in 11th.
Oh, thank
followed
God.
by Stu, who stays in P17.
Thank God both of the Jameses are together. That won't make things Very confusing.
I'm sure it was.
James
and
Grazo. Weird time.
Yeah, a lot of laps being aborted here right at the end.
Yeah, we got
Chris and Andy just aborted their laps.
Top 7 got the checkered flag. Assuming that means they have finished. If I am to trust the SEC TV.
Got three cars driving very close to each other, and one of them's gone wide off the track. That's Callum and Jace, both still on a lap. And Callum currently in P8, Jace currently in P13, coming around the final corner. We're on board with Hasib. Oh, and Jace has aborted that lap, so it's just Callum and Dan also aborting. What can Callum do here?
Yeah, that's not approved.
Is P8. So the only two drivers on track now are Hasib and James Thorburn. Hasib currently at the back in P18 with a best lap of a 1 minute 42. And James Thorburn in P11 with a 1 minute 40.
I think, according to my timings, James Thorburn is not going to improve. Is currently 1.5 seconds. Yep, 1.1 seconds below, and looks like it's the end of the
session has ended. Yep. Rightio. I'm going to leave you to do the grid.
Why?
If that's okay.
Why?
Because I need to get another beer.
Ah, that's an acceptable excuse.
Acceptable reason. Help me a minute.
And we'll wait for the actual grid to get on the grid, because it's much better looking, because AutoCamp goes through all of them. And they actually look really professional. Ow. That should be a nice little race around here. It's I'll stop eating before I talk. Right, yeah. It's a 24-hour format, so we will go from day to night to day. And a nice little spectacle. How's to say it? Spectacle around this really nice track that we keep saying. We definitely push our opinions going around this track, don't we? Because I think I shit talked Bahrain a lot. Because Bahrain is an absolute shit show. I think, what was last week? Bahrain last week, was it? No, it was something else. Why is it doing this again? It did this last time. That's why. Autocam was off. Right. Why is it saying Alex Ball's third? Alex Ball is not third. Chris.
Okay, I'm back.
Chris is in P2, I think. Right? Wait, what? Am I in P3? What? Steve P4? If Steve is next, it's definitely... Yep, Steve P4. It seems to think Alex is in P3.
Do you want my official list? I've got one.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex Ball in P1.
Yeah.
Martin Bouchan in P2. Steve Arnell, P3. Chris Redmond, P4. Pete is in P5. Andy in P6. Paul in P7. Callum in 8. Dave in 9. James Gray in 10. James Thorburn in 11. As you say, that's going to be exciting, having the two Jameses next to each other. Colin Mack in P12. Jace in P13. Ian Mowbray in P14. Dan Jude in P15, Adam McQueen P16, Stu in P17, and rounding out the grid, Hasib in P18. I did not breathe enough in that sentence.
Need to learn your breathing techniques as going through the grid still. James in P2, Maths 9. James in P10.
And we've got the lights
coming up right now. We look at the green. Oh, no, we're on board with the Porsche, but I think it will change as soon as the lights go out, and it does. Board with Colin Mack. Looks like Colin didn't get a great start, and it looks like it's Gonna be a lot of side-by-sides. There's coming to P1 and a lot of off-track action as well.
Well, we've got some spinners there.
Yep. We've got
that looks like Ian.
Lamborghini going off very wide.
Yeah, Ian and Jace both having a collision through that first
Alex is going to hold on to P1. Martin, looks like he's going to get into P... Alex and Martin are actually battling it out as James is going to lose a couple of positions on that corner. Alex is going to hold on to P1. 3 times behind him, Martin. And Andy's going to get in a position on Chris. Paul P5. Davin's P6. Pete is in P7 and Callum is in P8. As we'll continue to watch as they go around the beautiful corners, the beautiful flat corners of Chang. Henry, what's happened?
What hasn't happened, Danny? As Chris gets back up into P3, and we're having some more collisions down at the back of the field. That is James Gray, and I think Jason Ian are continuing to have some more collisions, and Ian is now completely off the track. Alex holding his lead, Martin holding second, Steve holding third, but Chris swapping places a couple times with Andy, although he's now back into his starting position of P4. And not too many collisions there, Danny, but not the cleanest of first laps.
Yep. Looks like Andy's dropping down like a fucking fly. As we're on board with Cebu, goes around that corner. Andy was quite high up and dropped quite a bit, as so has Callum.
Down in P12. How unfortunate. I didn't catch what happened to him there, but you can see that he's got some damage on that car. Dropping from, I believe, P7 on the grid?
Board with Hissy,
P8 on the grid.
Big old spin. Looks like someone else is a big old spin as well. I think that's Stu, yep.
Stu, yeah, indeed.
Having a big old spin. Gonna come up behind Hissy. Still just in front of Ian, who's gone into the pits.
Yeah, that's from multiple contacts with Jace on that first lap. Maybe... Oh, okay. Not quite taking the correct exit from the pit there. You meant to go around those cones to get back onto the track.
Right, so stream check. Who are you on board with right now?
Stu.
Never. Okay, right, I'm on board with James Gray. We've gone on board with Dan Jude, who's gone into the barrier.
I'm on with Dan Jude now in the barrier, so maybe it's a bit closer.
It does a nice little pirouette.
And it looks like Alex and Martin are very, very close to each other right now.
Let's hope it switches.
Very, very close, but for some reason... Oh, and Martin has taken P1 there through the last corner.
Yep, it's going to be side by side as we come around to T1. Who is going to get inside long? Looks like it's going to be Alex. Alex is going to get inside. Looks like he's going to hold that. He's going to push him out. And he's going to get the position. Can he hold it for this much longer as the GTR is known for its speed? And it's got the toe. Let's go around the not straight.
Oh, we've got to a big crash there, or I have.
Yeah,
Paul Harrison.
Yeah, Paul's
taking a big spin there.
Paul's going all the way down, but we're still on board with Martin Bouchan. He's going to get the position, I think. I think he is. Alex is going to go right behind the ass of the Nissan, but I think Martin is going to hold on to this one unless Alex dives on the inside. He's not. He's not. He's going to hold onto this P1. Oh, and looks like Alex is going to go down the inside for this time. Can Martin get the switch back? It looks like he is going to get the inside for this time as well. Can Martin hold on for this? Oh, this is some great racing for between these two. And Alex somehow has got the position still after all this.
Yeah, that's some great defending, and that has let Chris catch right up with those front two as well.
Yeah,
and we're getting the fight that we'd hoped for in this race.
A great freeway battle between these three. Alex Ball, Martin Bouchan, and Chris Redman.
We've also got quite a few drivers close in the mid-pack. Steve and Dave have got a nice bit of pocket around them, but then behind them, all those cars fighting quite hard, and Callum's managed to catch back up with the back of that pack. So maybe seeing a bit of the red mist right now, Callum, after losing some places in the first lap.
But red mist? No.
He's up to P11 now, so P10 now even.
So there was, I think, one of the Jameses had a bit of an off.
And we've got somebody jumping into the pits. Is that Hasib?
Paul Harrison.
Paul Harrison jumping into the pits.
And the pit window is actually opened now. So the people that pitted before didn't technically, it did count because it's a good pit, but it didn't technically count as a pit.
As their mandatory pit stop. Yeah. I'm imagining that Paul's pitting for damage there. Can't think of any other reason to be pitting this early into the race.
Yeah. It's a smart thing to hold on as well, because having probably gone to some very hard tyres, and it's Jace going the wrong way. That's not the right way, Jace. I'm quite sure. Why are you facing the wrong way? But well, let's blame someone else. Let's blame Callum.
Yeah, Jace has had a difficult one so far with those collisions early on with Ian, and now looks like more collisions. Don't know if that's bad luck or bad positioning, but very unfortunate for him.
So we're on board with Colin Mack right now. This is a four-way battle between Andy, James, Colin, and Callum. Tightly packed together. Around the left and the right. It's been quite entertaining these first 3 laps, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
I think it's going to go very, very wide. Is he going to lose a bit of traction out there? I think he is. As we get a nice little overhead of them, but we didn't want to watch that. We want to watch them. Oh, no.
Paul coming out of the pits instead.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, Andy has managed to hold on to that position. I think these guys always end up kind of close to each other, at least Callum and Colin and Andy. James is a new addition to the mix, though. I think of this midfield battle this week.
Right, close.
Making a move there, Callum. And I think Callum gained 2 positions through that corner. Excellently done.
Good.
Excellent job by Callum. He'll be feeling a little bit better back up into P8 there, which is where he qualified. So now he can start hunting Andy, who's using some very liberal lines here.
Yeah.
Said we might be seeing a bit of this with all of that tarmac on the runoff, and some people may be abusing those limits a little bit.
Some of those lines from Andy on those tracks. We've got some nice little overboard action, and we're on board with Martin Bouchard. Are you on board? Oh, we're on board with Callum now.
I'm back with Callum, yeah.
Yep, right up in the arse of Andy.
He is indeed both driving the McLaren, so exactly the same performance in the car, although difference in setups. And it does look like Andy's actually sustained some quite heavy damage. His windshield is smashed.
Oh, he's going to back out of that. Callum's going to dive in inside. That was a dive and a half. I think there was a bit of spider senses of a tingling from Andy there, because he avoided the fucking spearhead of Callum.
Either Spidey senses or Callum's shouting down the microphone.
I'm coming. Because that would have been a ginormous crash. But luckily,
and as Lee said, he'd still be mad. Maybe Callum's still pushing a little hard to try and make up for the initial mistakes.
Luckily for both of the driver's sake, the accident was avoided.
Callum's going for it again as Andy goes wide.
Andy's gone very wide. No way,
he's
Callum
given
doesn't
those
get
positions.
This. Yeah,
he's letting
all too.
Yeah, he's let both of them go through, and Colin is having a look now.
A third.
Oh, in that lovely Castrol livery. Trying to hold the outside. That's very brave, but he manages it, and Andy gives him the space, and now my camera's cut to Hasib driving off the track.
We're very in sync.
Oh, and now Ian's back in the barrier. Oh dear. Oh no.
You say marry Ian?
Ian? No, I tried to say and now Ian, but I tried to say it too fast.
But you were mixing his second name and his first name.
Ian. And we're back with Colin now.
Yep.
And he's still behind Andy, so I guess he didn't make that move stick there. And actually, he's dropped back quite a way, so it must have...
it must be Andy's fault. Andy probably definitely kicked him off.
I would say so.
But, kind of related to what Lee said, but not related to what he said. But I think A note for later as everybody goes wide around that corner. I think for some reason Autocam favourites pit exit and pit entry.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it likes to let us know about people going into the pits, which isn't really necessary because I can see it on the live timings page. But yeah, we are hoping to. It seems that we're not always seeing the same thing. It does seem a bit better this time.
It does,
but it's not always the same. So we might try Callum's next theory to fix that next week.
Well, looks like Stu's gonna go very, very wide there, as everybody goes around there. Anyways, but looks like Andy has a lot of damage, as we were on board with him. His windscreen looked very fucked up.
Yeah, and you can see there, we cut away from it, but he was following James through, I believe, turn 4, and carrying the same speed, but understeering massively out of the corner, so that damage is definitely affecting him.
Like Hasib, who started all the way at the back, up into P40 and gets past Stu. Like he's gonna hold on position as well.
Yeah, and I think Hasib there has benefited a lot from those mistakes that we've seen from Ian and Adam, multiple crashes from those drivers. Jace still in P13, even though we've seen him backwards quite a few times.
Yeah, maybe benefits of pits. Maybe. Just a benefit of the driver skill. There you go, Jason. Look at Dave doing a big old 360 maybe with a 720. Oh, Jesus Christ, Dave. Not the place to be doing donuts on the track.
Dan is in pits? Yeah, okay, yeah, Dan is in the pits right now. Okay. I was wondering why he wasn't moving. That explains it.
Dave's going to drop down into P10 because of that mishap. Owen still on the ass of Andy. He's going to go down the inside as Andy goes wide. It looks like he's going to go side by side around this corner. I think. It's a left-hander. Andy's going to get the inside, but he's going to lose out. He's going to lose out. Colin's going to get the better speed around there. And he's maybe his damage is catching up to him. Only not even 15 minutes into the race, and we've got lots and lots of damage. But at least we've got an actual fight going up in P1. Yeah. Martin's still up the arse of Alex.
Yeah, very much holding that gap. And Chris is not too far behind, about 2 seconds up the road.
Yeah, it's a nice little place for Chris is here. You can sit back and watch these two have a big old fight. Maybe like crash into each other. You can see when they're gonna pit, see when they're not gonna pit, and take advantage of this for Chris. Very low position as Andy's gonna actually drop down into P10.
And that is a good point from Lee. Andy's lights could well be broken. This track is very well lit though, so I think he'll probably just about get away with it.
Looks like Andy's got to dive into the pits right now.
But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's going to get those lights fixed. Maybe he heard something from race control
about the dangers of driving with no lights. I was about to say until it gets a bit darker, because as it goes to full night, he will be struggling without those lights.
Yeah, lots of things are being shaken up by Andy pitting. Gonna drop down to P14 at the minute, maybe even lose a couple more.
I think he's going to lose P15 to Adam, yep, and then I think he'll come out ahead of Ian here. A pit stop, for reference, you lose about 39 seconds for a pit stop compared to a normal lap total, including time for tyres, but that's without damage, so with damage it might be a little bit longer than that even. Because it's a very, very long pit straight here at Chang.
Hashtag facts by Henry.
Facts by Henry, and Andy does come out just ahead of Ian in P15 or so.
Arsenal concede a goal. Well, one behind.
Oh no.
Alex still in P1. Martin in P2. 1 second back. Not small as a gap that we've been seeing recently. Smallest gap right now is probably that actually. Put down the order. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and Martin's actually falling back a little bit now. At the start of this lap, he was 7/10 behind, and now he's up to a second. 1.1 seconds even. So, as we normally do, we're seeing the field start to kind of bit us out a little bit now. 15 minutes into our 1 hour race. But we usually see them squeeze back up again towards the end, don't we? So the action isn't over yet. Especially as the drivers start to get a bit more fatigued, and we see some more mistakes coming out from even the more experienced drivers.
Who's the most experienced driver here, Henry?
Ooh.
Because I bet you have no idea.
I don't know. I know that Alex...
I have no idea.
I think it's probably Chris.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
Right. Well, Alex has driven in actual racing leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for sure. He's driven at Spa. I'm pretty sure Chris is also a real life driver. Andy used to work for a company that did track days, so he has quite a lot of track experience, but never racing, more hot lapping and that sort of thing. So I think, yeah, probably either Chris or Alex, but I don't know. I don't know about Steve or Martin. I don't know anything about their day-to-day racing past, so it could be them. It could be someone else. I don't know. But yeah, my money would be on either Alex or Chris.
I mean, Andy's an old fucker, so...
Yeah, that's true. With age comes great experience.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Maybe that's why his spider senses were tingling.
Yeah, we do know that all of them spend a lot of time in the sim, as Ian is going for another spin. Not having the best of days.
Maybe he likes looking the other way.
Sorry?
Maybe he likes looking the other way. Just to check behind him.
Yeah, just make sure there's nobody too close. Yeah, it's very dangerous. Callum up into P6, as we've already seen, and is actually holding on to Pete. Not too far up the road. 6 seconds up the road now from Pete. I'm going to keep an eye on that gap and see if he manages to close it as Ian comes into the pits, presumably to fix some damage on that car that may have been making it more difficult to drive. That may have been where that mistake came from.
Probably. I think maybe he was struggling a bit. Maybe for him, in his mind, it's best just to dive into the pits and get the tyres, new aero, and just sit back and just drive. Because there is still 41 minutes remaining. Feels like this has been going on for about 5 hours.
How long is it that they say you need to do something to be an expert? Is it 10,000 hours?
What? That's a thing?
Yeah. There's like, I mean, it's not like a hard and fast rule, but like, there's a theory that 10,000 hour rule invented by Malcolm Gladwell, who stated that researchers have settled on what they believe is the magic number for true expertise. 10,000 hours.
So do we go through everybody's Steam hours?
Yeah, just check the Steam hours in AC. We can find out who's wasted the most time sim racing.
Apparently, that means I'm not an expert in Arma 3.
No. I think I have about 400 hours in AC, so I've got a long way to go to be an expert. Apparently, according to that rule. I mean, obviously there are lots more factors involved, but that's kind of the rough benchmark. So if you ever want to be an expert at anything, just set aside 10,000 hours,
easy,
and get going. Yeah.
As we see another person going wide at that corner, but Hasib, I think, yeah, keeping up to Jace. Only less than a second in front of him. And Andy, who was already pitted, just behind Adam. Hopefully for him, we'll be getting past this. It looks like we're down the inside. Not going to get in position now. Adam just keeps in front of him as we've got on board with Jace. Being in position, there was a blue flag. Just have to watch out for Hasib just right behind him. And I think, yep, Hasib's got to go a bit wide I think.
You call that using all of the time.
Yep,
oh, and a crash there.
Andy.
That's Andy and Adam. Oh, and that's going to be costly for Andy. Obviously, he's in P15, but that's after a pit stop. So
yeah, the undercut, the massive undercut, don't seem to have worked as he thought.
Yeah, that's going to cost him quite a lot.
They get past those back markers. Well, in terms of back markers, would have gone around easily, but doesn't look like it's going to happen for Andy, who will have lost probably about 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds.
They race him so hard.
Yep.
As we see Stu going over the grass.
Maybe he just wants to check if there's any potholes around there.
Making sure it's all regulation.
Yep, he's going to stay on there as well. Right, yep, good job by Stu. He's going to lose the place to Adam as well.
I think he was just being careful there not to rejoin dangerously. Nice to see.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was being pessimistic, but yeah. Good idea.
I mean, also, making sure the grass is regulation is an important job that somebody needs to do. And as Brad isn't here this week, somebody else has to step up.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Blue flag, blue flag.
He was blue flag, Lee, but
it's a grass flag.
He also lost position as Stu. Also loses position to Andy.
Yeah, Andy's going to have to work hard to make up for that collision. Oh, and Hasib is using more than all of the road there.
I think that's just a Hasib line.
Yeah, went all the way out into the pit lane on the exit of the final corner. As we see Paul Harrison trying to make a move on
qualified
Stu.
quite high, didn't he?
I assume that Paul has taken a pit stop and that we may have missed it in all of the action that has just been happening. But we'll find out soon.
Yeah, Paul over the race has lost 6 places. So yeah, he did qualify quite high.
He qualified in P7 and currently in P16. So yeah, that must have been a pit stop. Must have been. If not, he's had a very unfortunate time. I guess we'll find out when everybody else starts moving in for the pits, although we're still a good 6 or 7 minutes off when we're expecting most of our pit stops to happen for those without damage.
We say most, but who the fuck hasn't pitted? Alex, Martin, yes. I think Steve has. Pete.
Steve, who is interestingly running without his lights on right now. I assume that's because of damage.
Living dangerously, maybe.
Yeah. As I say, the track is quite well lit, so he's getting away with it. As Paul's going around the outside of Stu, and I'm seeing an onboard camera, which is completely useless. But he hasn't actually got that move done. He's still alongside Stu.
Yeah. I'm going to switch to Adam and Andy.
Andy going back past Adam there, yeah. This time avoiding him, which I'm sure he's happy about. And that's got a sting for Andy. Pitted for damage early on.
In the terms of things.
Now, presumably has damage again.
In the terms of things. Andy is not going to be happy about any of this.
No.
But in the end of things, who the fuck cares about Andy's feelings? We're on board with Paul. Never mind, we're on board with Andy. And the gaps seem to be opening.
Yeah, I said earlier that I'd keep my eye on that gap between Pete and Callum is dropping back from Pete now, so holding P6 quite well, which is one up from his qualifying position, but not really gaining on the cars ahead. It looks like P6 is going to be Callum's lot today, if he can hold it for the rest of the race.
Yeah, looks like we are going to be waiting until the pits until something happens, unless someone has a bit of an incident. But I think just compared to the last race, it actually had something going on. Oh, compared to races, which is nice.
Yeah, as we're seeing the on-track fight between Paul and Stu.
Is this an actual fight?
This is a fight for position. Yep. Paul Harrison in P16 and Stu in P15. Both 14 laps into the race.
Okay. According to my timings, it isn't a fight. Paul is 23 seconds behind Stu.
Well, you can see him right there, so
yeah,
I don't think he's... I mean, yeah, that's very odd. 20 seconds isn't enough to be a whole lap, is it?
No.
Very weird. As for all the information I can see, that is an on-track fight. Although, actually, I'm not sure. Maybe not. My timings is also saying there's a bigger gap between them than that. So maybe I wasn't on board with Paul and the AC tower was being rubbish.
I don't think that's Stu in front of him. It's not Stu in front of him because that's an Audi in front of him.
I
Stu
see.
is in the Porsche.
So who is it that's in front of him? Let us try and find out. It's annoying that that information isn't readily available. It is... Dave Gill in P9. So Dave has presumably lapped Paul, but Paul is just hanging on to him. And that's why they're so close.
Yeah. That is what is happening.
As we see Dan Jude having a bit of a crash just after the exit of T1. Seems like we're seeing a lot of mistakes there on T1 with people losing the rear end on the exit. And oversteering into the inside barrier. Easily done.
Oh, first the pitters. There goes Chris.
So Chris going for a bit of an early pit stop, maybe trying to do a undercut here. And I would expect that to trigger some more pit stops from some of the other drivers.
Yeah,
it would certainly trigger mine if I was one of those front
runners. I'm
runners.
on you, Henrik, to see where he's going to come out. Is he going to come out and clean out, or is he going to come out right behind someone?
Depends, of course, how much damage he's got, but I think he's going to come out just ahead of James Thorburn, so in P7. And actually, yeah, he's going to have a good bit of clean air there with Callum ahead of him in P6. So, oh, it's going to be close though. James Thorburn comes around the final corner, and yeah, Chris has just pipped him there out onto the second straight of the track. So,
Chris,
a well-timed pit stop there.
Yeah, if Chris, depending on how the other pit stops go, Chris will have a lot of clean air, get some laps in, fast laps in that he can do. We'll definitely gain maybe one position on Martin. I don't remember how close they were. Oh, Steve, I don't know where he was. I can't remember.
And interestingly, that hasn't actually triggered any pit stops from Alex or Martin. They've both carried on with their laps, but it looks like Steve is pitting from P3. So that has triggered Steve.
Mm-hmm. See where
and here's where those little bits of strategy come in. Let's see how it shakes out.
We are coming to the halfway mark in this 1 hour race. Steve's going to lose the position to Pete, who still hasn't pitted, but, and he's going to lose the position to Cam as well as he just leaves his pit box now.
By my reckoning, Steve's going to come out ahead of Chris, but it's going to be really close. Really close. Actually, Chris might have gotten it.
Yeah, he definitely has.
And there he goes. Chris taking net third position of the race there. Koss currently only in P5, but Callum, Pete, and Martin and Alex yet to pit. And yeah, Chris taking P3 from Steve from that undercut, working wonders for him there. Steve still driving with no lights, so I think that is a personal decision there, rather than necessity from damage. Unless he didn't fix his damage in the pit stop, of course. As we're seeing more drivers come into the pit, that is Alex pitting from the lead,
Alex and
Martin
well.
pitting from P2. So pitting on the same lap as each other, not going for any fancy tactics here. Martin wants to.
Chris comes out because Chris was just behind the back marker. It might have been Callum.
Yeah, I think Chris is too far behind here. I do not think he's going to come out ahead. As both P1 and P2 are pulling out of the pit boxes now. Chris is going to be actually a long way behind. Pete now coming into the pits, as is Adam, and Callum is electing to carry on for a bit longer. So Callum is pushing this stint a little bit further than the other cars.
Yeah, Alex is just come out of the pits.
Way ahead of Chris. Chris is coming towards T1 now. And Callum actually currently running, his last lap was a 138.6, and both of the leaders are running in 139s in their last couple of laps. So actually Callum might be gaining a little bit from this. It won't bring him back up to the leaders, but gaining himself a bit of air there, which would be very nice, I'm sure. As Pete comes out of the pits into a pretty solid P6 there, just ahead of James Gray. I think is still yet to pit. Oof.
That was some pitting.
Lots of action. Yeah, lots of pit stops going on all at the same time. That's what we expect from these races. As I say, a couple more pit stops still to go. And I guess it's a question now of how long Callum's going to push his stint. And whether he actually gains or loses from making that decision here.
All about the overtake. What is it? The overcut.
Overcut. Callum is doing the overcut. Yeah. Oh, as somebody goes for a spin in front of Colin. Yeah. I think that was a back marker, James.
Oh, he's gonna lose. He's gonna lose position to Colin. Is James?
Oh, sorry. Was that James Thorburn?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I thought you meant.
Oh, Mr. James in the Lamborghini. Dr. James in the Audi.
Right.
Still the gaps are quite high.
We're all very spaced out now. Yes, Hasib comes out of the pit lane and is going to be very close to Stu. And another car that I can't quite pick out.
I think that's what a Lamborghini is. It's not involved with this race as Paul goes around.
I think Stu getting out of the way and letting Paul Harrison and Hasib through there.
But Hasib, that's for it's a position fight though. Is Paul Hasib are fighting? I think Stu was involved in that fight.
Yeah, I think Stu is actually fighting for position there as well, but he has dropped back a little bit.
Paul's going to get the inside door, he's going to brake later, he's going to get position, can he get a better exit Hasib? No, he can't. It's like, this is going to, how it's going to be settled? Didn't Hasib just come out of the pits, or am I thinking? Oh, it's like Steve's going to have a big old crash. Going to hit the barrier. Where is Pete on the track? It's 24 seconds behind. I don't think that's going to be enough to catch up to Steve. It's going to definitely give some hope to Pete, maybe to get to P5. Steve will have some damage.
That's also going to affect Callum. Callum's still to pit. He's pitting right now. And that spin from Steve might and it looks like Steve's off the track again, according to my live timings, and that might give Callum P5. Let's see what happens here. Callum is still in the pits. Steve is coming towards the final corner now. I think Unless Callum sets off right now, that Steve is going to hold P5. It looks like Steve's had another crash.
Yeah, I think Steve's had another crash, and I think Pete might be the one that Callum's got to watch out for, and I think he has. Pete's going to get past Callum just right on the last corner, and Callum's going to be hunting down Pete now instead of Steve that we probably was thinking of who was going to fight. And Steve actually down to the pit. Maybe Steve didn't pit. No, Steve did pit, didn't he?
No, Steve did pit. He's probably pitting for that damage. I guess after the initial crash, it was just too difficult to control. And Callum's done really well out of pushing that stint late. Gone all the way up to P5 now?
Yeah, P5, I
think. P5. And, I mean, he went into the pits. He should have come out in P7 as far as I remember. So that's worked out very well for Callum Jones. And as you say now, Pete is in his sights, but earlier on in the race, Pete definitely had a bit more pace than Callum. We'll see if that has changed though.
Yeah, Steve just coming out of the Pete's. Pete, yep, he's coming out of the Pete's now.
Steve's coming out the Pete's.
Into P12, he was all high. All in P4, I think he was, and now he's all the way down. P12, not great. Innings for Steve.
Has actually got the company of James Gray as well, pretty close behind him.
Yeah,
so that
2 seconds behind him.
Might develop into a fight later on. It
but
looks like
Adam. Silas, I was about to say the closest gap right now is Andy and James.
Andy and James. Yeah.
Battling out for the P9. 22 minutes remaining. Still in the dark in this 24-hour format. From the day to the night to the day again. Well, what's the time to go? Lots of things can happen. People need to keep it consistent. I think with 5 races in right now, people will be learning not how to drive, but how to keep it consistent. They're learning how to learning.
They're learning how to learning.
They're learning how to learning.
It is important to learn how to learn. To learn how to learn well. Yeah, the GT3s are... there's a lot you can gain by becoming familiar with the car, I feel, with the GT3 car. I mean, that's true for any car, but especially the GT3s. When you really understand your particular car, as we see Andy letting James know that he's there.
Flash.
As they come into this corner, just a light break into here.
Let's be honest, 24 years and Wani is still learning how to speak.
And Andy's again using all of the track, having a little look to James's inside, but thinking better of it. As they come around turn 7. And looks like Andy's using a lot of those exits. He hasn't quite got the pace really to be making a move right now. I think it seems to me that Andy's going to need James to make a mistake.
And speaking of mistakes, I've got a blue flag right in front of him.
That is Dan.
So that could be a mistake happening depending on how Dan reacts to the blue flag.
And Andy's getting a good bit of oversteer there.
Yeah.
And James Gray having a bit of a wobble as well, and that's going to drop him back from Callum. So the pressure is off from Callum now. Pretty much equal gaps from Pete to Callum to James. For Pete 4, 5 and 6 as the sun is rising.
It's a beautiful sun. Up, down.
Here in Thailand.
Down here in Thailand.
Down under in Thailand.
Almost down under.
Not quite. And what are our gaps looking like? Andy creeping ever so close. That is the back marker that Andy is going past, but he was creeping close to it. So it was nearly exciting, and James has pulled a bit of a gap there. I feel like if this race had stewards, they'd have some definite words with Andy here. for his liberal usage of the track.
It wouldn't just be Andy.
No, true, but it does seem like he's doing it every time.
That's Dan.
And that's Dan in the barrier.
I feel like we're gonna have words. We'll probably have words about blue flags as well.
Yeah, maybe have some words with the barriers. Those barriers are being very mean to a lot of the drivers today.
Yeah. You all took your facts into play. They're like, oh, there's just so much runoff because Henry said there's so much runoff.
I can go as far off the track as I like. Yeah, the barrier out of nowhere.
There we go. Andy is fighting again. He's fighting with the James. He's got the Lamborghini right in his sights. Can he get... Oh, the Lamborghini. He's pulling away like it's no fashion at all. They both keep just to the track limits. Unlike Yassib through that corner. And unlike that person in front of Stu. Not Adam. Don't know who it is. Maybe Dan. I think it was Dan. It was Dan. Stu goes around him, and we carry on with the Stu race. About one I can't be watching.
And we're back with Andy. There we go. That's the fight we want to see. And Andy definitely seems to be struggling with some understeer in that McLaren. It always seems like he wants it to turn more than it can. As we see, I think that's just a blue flag there. But nonetheless.
Oh, and Andy's going to get the position, actually. Andy's going to get the round James. He is. On board with James. Yeah, looks like he's going to lose position. Round that corner. Can he get back up onto him? Doesn't look like he's going to get around this corner. Doesn't look like he's going to get around yet in the corner. He gets a bit of turning oversteer. Around here. Yeah, looks like Andy is pulling away. Going to get round the man he wanted to get round, and he's going to pull away. I don't think he's going to get. Oh, yeah, it's 15 seconds behind Colin. He's going to get anywhere close to him. There is 17 minutes remaining. Lots of mistakes can happen, but maybe James is the bigger threat to Andy than Andy is to Colin.
And we haven't got much going on right now, really. Lots of people passing blue flags. But other than that, we do have a little bit of a potential fight brewing between Dave Gill and Colin Mack for P7. As it looks like... Has Martin just gone off the track there? I think he has.
He's going to lose a lot of time to the back marker. Would presume that he will have done.
But he has a very big gap back to Chris, so I don't think that's going to be much of a problem.
He's going to lose 3 seconds to Alex, actually, yeah. He's only 2 seconds behind Alex, now he's at 5 seconds. So yeah, it's 3 seconds lost to Alex. Not what we would have wanted. Looking for P1, not looking like it will be happening anytime soon.
But as I was saying, it looks like Colin is hunting down Dave for P7 as they come around the final corner. And in a couple of laps' time, we might have a bit of a fight on our hands for that position.
Yeah,
as Alex is so far ahead that he is on the last corner as they are on the first corner. So coming up to lap P8 whilst in P1.
Yeah. Steve is going to have a bit of a fight with Jace, and Steve is going to go around the outside of Jace. That's a really nice move by Steve. Yep, it's a really nice move by Steve.
Yes, indeed.
Come on,
yes, we can expect Steve to be trying to make his way back up the field, but he has a big gap now to James ahead, around 22 seconds. So P11 may be the best that he can do with only 15 minutes to go. But he's quick, but I don't think he's going to be a second a lap quicker than the car ahead now.
Can just keep him up under pressure though. Still 4 tenths as we look at Stu's having a big old spin. On the first corner or the last corner?
The first corner.
The first corner. I saw a pit entrance or exit, so
Yep, and I'm on board now with Colin. This is
Yep.
and I've gone back now to Andy.
Oh, no,
But
I'm
that
still
is
on
the
Colin.
fight. That's the fight I was talking about. Colin catching Dave, and he's catching him actually
Ow, my
very
bad.
quickly. And as we see somebody jumping into the pits,
It's
that
James.
is James Gray. Colin and Dave coming down the pit straight now, and Colin has definitely closed that gap. He's going to be making a move for that position for P7, coming out of turn 1 now. And my camera is still not on board with them. I don't know if yours is.
On board James right now is coming out of the pit.
Exiting the pits.
Yep, entering the pit exit. Around side, going to go around the cones. It's a nice gentleman's agreement. I assume that happened as we've got Colin, I think, like you said, is the smallest gap, hunting down the Dave in the Audi. Stu's just,
Colin.
Stu's just parking up there, showing off everybody's livery.
Colin has closed this gap very quickly, but now that he's within a couple of car lengths, seems like he's struggling a bit. But maybe he's just keeping an eye on Dave and seeing where he's got the better speed.
Yep, until the daytime right now. Stu's still in the same place I saw him last time. Yeah, we're coming through the daytime right now. 13 minutes remaining. Carry on, Henry. What were you going to say?
Oh, nothing important, I'm sure.
No, it was very important, Henry.
Oh, well, I have forgotten.
Okay, that's what I assumed.
Yeah. It's getting nice and relaxing now, this race. There's a lot more time to breathe going on. And I demand to know what you were going to say. If I remember, I'll let you know. Probably something about Colin waiting for Dave to make a mistake, which he just did coming into that corner, but Colin's drive out of the corner isn't quite as good. So...
Porsche versus the Audi.
Oh, I have remembered what I was going to say.
Ah.
I was going to say he's got plenty of time. 12 minutes to try and take this position, so he doesn't need to rush it. He can take his time, because the gap to Callum is too big for him to consider. So
fuck you, Lee, you remembered.
Yeah, this is the only position that Colin can be fighting for, and he knows that. Shocked Pikachu face. No, to be fair to Lee, he was on the right side of that. It was very unlikely that I would remember.
But Colin seems to be dropping back.
Yeah, he's definitely starting to struggle a bit now. As I say,
Jesus.
he was closing this gap, but seeing lots of very little mistakes here that are adding up to a full neck.
Oh.
What are we seeing?
I'm just reacting to the live timings. Every time he goes down, I go ooh. Every time he goes up, I go ah. And I think that was definitely a slow lap from Colin. It's still 1.2 seconds. It's improved a tiny bit. Oh, he comes down to a second. We got board with Adam and someone behind him, which I don't think is a lapped car. I think it's a blue flag. Blue flag of someone. I don't know who that is, but it was a blue flag. Colin.
That is Chris.
That's Chris.
Chris going past Adam into T1.
Yeah, looks like P1, P2 and P3 are settled for now. Unless some ginormous crashes happen. Definitely the battle we're going to be watching right now is between Colin and Dave. I'm going to stick on them because of now. There we go. Yep. I'm going to stick on them right now because I don't see any other fights happening in the other for another 3 minutes or whatever. Colin is definitely catching back those times that he lost.
Yep, and it is just a case now of finding somewhere where Dave is leaving a bit of space somewhere where he's leaving a bit of time, or just pressuring him into a mistake for Colin.
Yeah.
And best way to do that is to get to as close to his bumper as you can. Let him know that you're there, and he's definitely doing that. Coming down into the final corner, but he goes a little bit deep, and that's going to cost him on the exit.
Definitely gets a 3 tenths faster lap than Dave in front of him. Still going to keep on to him. Does, I think, lose a couple of temps because of that bad exit on the straight. But he will be looking, like you said, where he's faster as well. In which corners he can gain, which corners he might lose in a bit. But also
both coming
corners.
up to a back marker now. That's Hasib. So that might spice this up a little bit as they try and navigate their way past.
In a death race scenario, who's the most brutal? Don't really know. Alex, maybe, because
as in the olden days, and they've both gone past that best marker easily. Yeah, in the olden days of like the Mazda Championship, Alex definitely. But now, I don't think so anymore. I think he's gotten a lot safer. But I'm not sure actually.
Yeah,
now
it's not about.
Well, I suppose it's not about safety, is it? It's about aggression.
It's about aggression, about bending the rules, as we all know.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about who bends the rules the most, definitely Andy in this race. With those track limit excursions.
Where is Colin going? He's going around the pit exit. Oh, he's going into the pits. What the fuck?
He's going into the pits. Colin is pitting with 13 minutes to go, and I haven't seen any reason as to why.
Okay, right. Maybe. Sure, you pitted before. I got back to autocam and James going around the back wrong way. He's going to lose the position to Jay, so I think there was another position lost and gained while we were watching Colin, but I didn't quite notice it. Andy's going to get past Colin. Oh, this is some actual action that's happening. As Colin's just going to come out of the exit. Might lose out to James. Is it going to lose out? Oh, it's going to be very, very close, I think.
I think James is going to get it.
He's going to get it. He's going to get it. And might even lose another. No, he's not going to lose that position because that's a back marker.
That's Chris. That's Chris. So Colin is a back marker for Chris. There.
Yep.
And actually, Colin did qualify in P12, so maybe that is his first pit stop.
Maybe it's one of those people that pitted before the pit window opened.
Somebody else is in the pit lane. That's Stu pitting for damage, I think. As we see Chris in P3 driving very close to Colin, the back marker. And between Colin and James, actually.
Yeah, 1.5 minutes until the pit window closes. We've got Adam looking at the barrier. Nice little logo for the Chang beer. Not sponsored this stream.
Not sponsored yet, but it could be Chang beer. Yeah. Reach out to us.
Hashtag. Please sponsor us. Not especially a real spot hashtag.
With beer. And Chris is still in that Colin and James sandwich there. 2 blue flags. Oh. And it looks like James has just let him through.
Yeah.
Going into the final corner.
Yeah, as you said, go around the final corner and Broadway Stewart now is going to come out of the pits. Dan looks like he's all the spins that he has. Not going to be last. Because Stu pitted, like you said, is going to go around the corners. We'll never know. Because we're on the board with Matty Bouchard as the timings split out. But Colin, again, is the closest battle. Colin likes having a big old battle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's doing all of the work in this race towards the end here, giving us some entertainment. Let's see if he can close in on James here. Presumably he's on fresh tyres. So once he's gotten them warm, he can have a go.
Yeah, pretty sure he's on the softs. As we've only got Then 5 minutes remaining. So pit window closes. No one can pit right now unless they haven't pitted already. What a mandatory pit stop. Colin, did you see the Discord message, Henry? To the left of the badges is the ping.
I did see that, yes. Yeah. Thank you guys for filling us in on what the little green bar is. That is the ping to the server. And it looks like everybody in the top 10 has got a very good ping right now.
Looks like everyone in your server's got a good ping.
Good to know.
Yep. No bastard Americans in the server like Bobby.
Yeah, we are missing Bobby this week. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it to join us, but of course, you can't be there every week.
Why not?
Well, sometimes you got stuff going on, haven't you?
Nope.
Never. I suppose this would be a good time to mention that this is the T116 Racing League, brought to you by EmperorServers.com, hosted by EmperorServers.com. Keep hydrated, everyone. Using the lovely emote in the chat there.
Alright, tinfoil. I'm not going to mention what channel it's from. No, that would just be disgusting.
From Crinker, Crink Actual, who's in the chat today. Go to his stream. If there's anyone here, or if you're watching the replay, Crank is our friend Graham, and his dog really needs your help to get their surgery sorted out, and they're getting ever so close to their goal for that. So please go and check that out if you can. And that's my dog. If you're on the Twitch stream, actually, you can scroll down, and there is a link to it on the Twitch stream. You can find it there. As Colin is not exactly making a move on James. He keeps kind of closing this gap up a little bit and then opening it back up again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, looks like it's the Colin tactic.
It's got a good exit.
It'd be very close to not to get the move done, but maybe
I
might eat my words right now. Is he going to go
out.
around?
And he's backed out of it.
I don't think he backed out. I think he just didn't have the speed. On the Lamborghini is definitely going to get the speed right now. As
he definitely lifted then.
Did
he? Yeah, I don't know why. And that's given Steve a chance to take that position out of nowhere. Steve is up into P9. How has Steve closed that gap? Very impressive. And so Steve now up into P9 and presumably thinking, maybe I can close that gap to James. Of course, Steve was one of our front runners earlier in the race. And he'll have a bit of a pace advantage, but he's only got a minute and a half left.
While we were busy talking about dog surgery and Colin not actually lifting for some reason, Paul did actually get past James. But we will carry on. We've got on board with Alex. Coming around the start fishing. Yep, start fishing line. Just driving away for some reason, like a bastard.
And we've got a driver of the day vote from Lee there for Callum.
Yeah.
And I've got to say I agree actually. Yeah. I think that was an excellent. Qualified in P7. Got caught up in accidents in the first lap, went down to at least P12, and from there has recovered all the way up to P5 again. Very good race.
If we vote for Callum, that's it feels like a bit of favouritism, so I can't.
That is true. That is true.
There's 17 other drivers on the grid. There's 16 drivers on the grid other than Andy and Callum. Can't vote for Andy because it's Andy. I mean, Chris, granted, he is a fast boy.
Chris
he didn't
qualified P4. Qualified P4, so he's up one position.
Did Pete lose a position?
Pete gained a position as well from 5 to 4. Oh, unless something drastic happens in this final lap.
And I tell you what, one for people that are watching that helped us with the ping thing. Oh. Why did that tell me that Pete's just gained a position on Callum? And Callum's gained a position on Pete.
I don't think so, but Steve is so close here to James coming around the final corner. Oh no, he's not on the final corner actually. He's got a bit more time. They're coming through the flat exit of turn 10 now into turn 11, so they are coming up to the final corner. Is Steve going to be able to make a move late on the brakes? James is holding the inside. Oh, and Steve's going. Ah, there's no space for him there, and I think James is just going to hold that P8.
He is.
And that is the race over for those drivers. We still have some drivers, of course, still racing. But I don't think there are any other fights going on the circuit. So we may stay in our current order then for the finish of the race. And yeah, I think...
Damn it.
Damn it.
Well, he's right, according to progress. The progress bar, Callum has gained 7 places and done the best.
Yeah, I think Callum was the best driver there today, even without biases. Driver of the day, I would say. Of course, another solid performance from Alex to finish in P1. Again, not really challenged. I mean, he had to fight a little bit. Martin gave him a bit of a fight as we see somebody zoom past the last corner there. Yeah, we saw Martin giving Alex a bit of, they had a couple passes one way or the other in the first couple of laps, but then Alex started to pull that lead. Chris, again, had some issues early on in the race, but managed to recover quite well up to P3. And yeah, a bit of a disappointing drive for Andy, I think, there.
Yeah, definitely the disappointment of the race. As much as I'd love to say it, what a disappointment Andy is. According to the progress, Steve is the biggest disappointment, losing 3 positions overall. Lots of people are getting in places though, according to, which is weird. Once again, I want to ask: is the progress? I think it's over time. It's not from the quality positions, I assume, because Alex gained 2 positions. So, but what I was going to ask?
User entered your channel.
Hi, Callum.
Can't hear anything.
Welcome to the interview positions. You not have a good race. You have a good race, Callum.
Oh, he's muted. Callum's... Oh, he's unmuted. I don't think he can hear us. Must be something broken there.
Right, anyway, that was a great interview from Callum. So, thanks, guys, for watching. I'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks very much, everybody. Till next time.